It,
Absolutely.
so what do you think is the biggest lesson that you learned from this transition? I'm just curious, from being a professor, you finally making money being a writer. What is you think is the biggest lesson you learned?
That's a good question. I would say, well, there's probably many lessons.
Right, that's fine.
But the biggest one that comes to mind, which I think your listeners might be helpful to anybody who wants to transition into having some kind of a business where you're writing or really anything else. It's that it doesn't have to be this big, dramatic, elaborate type of thing. So when people hear about me transitioning from being a full-time college professor to having a full-time writing business, that seems dramatic. And when I say something like that, the picture that people normally have is that, oh, just one day you stopped being a professor, and then the next day, somehow magically, you had a full-time income as a writer. And how'd that happen? Then that could never happen to me. Only special people, are able to do those kind of things. And it wasn't that way at all. I had built it up over a number of years, but the promise that I made to my wife in making this transition, and she was really the barometer of this, honestly, because I wanted to make sure she felt very good financially about this, that she felt confident that I could actually do it, because she knows me better than I know myself, probably. And she's a lot smarter than me, and all that good stuff. But I said, I want to make sure my own kind of barometer for success was I wanted to make sure that at least for 6 months before I left my college job, that my income from ghostwriting and other stuff was equal or greater than my college job income. And that allowed us to do the Dave Ramsey thing and put 3 to 6 months of savings into the bank, which we did. And it also validated the concept that, okay, my income from this side thing was steady enough where I could leave my college job and we would be totally fine. And it was. So this was a very measured, intentional kind of thing. It was not all a thing where I was just like, oh, I'm going to up and quit. I hate this job. It wasn't that at all. In fact, I kind of grieved the loss of it. And
I bet, right?
to be honest with you, I'm still grieving it a little bit because I really enjoyed what I was doing. I love the people that I work with. I love teaching. And there's an aspect of that life that I still do miss, to be honest with you. But it was a very measured thing. I just made sure I had the client work lined up and everything was good so that I can make the transition without it disrupting us financially.
You had a plan, which is so important.
Absolutely.
Right. You thought about it. Your wife supported you. And that, to me, having support is critical, because some people try to do stuff by themselves. And that's how you don't have like you said, the barometer. You need to have that. I love that.
Yeah, because you can't be objective.
Right.
When it comes to yourself, I think we all sort of act like, oh, I can see reality and I have a clear understanding of myself and the world and everything, but we don't. We're not nearly as objective as we think. That's why you have to have smart people in your life to help you see reality, I think.
Right. Just like your wife trusts you. I mean, this great relationship right there. I want to meet her. And just like
she's way more fun than me. You should be interviewing her instead of me.
I will put her on my list.